a coder. Coffee stains and chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. LeetCode, beast mode, 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 LeetCode, beast mode. This is not a main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. LeetCode, beast mode, 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 LeetCode, beast mode.
What up, what up? Good morning, everybody. Tens, what's up? Welcome back. Who in the chat has actually solved any of the questions or did the contest? We're gonna, okay, I only did 4 and then the 5th one I flopped. Let me see what my rating was. I think my rating might go up. Where did I see how I did? I don't know how to check where. How's the audio, by the way? Let's just get into upsolving some of these, or let's just go through all the questions one by one. We're gonna try to keep it structured, and then we're gonna try to upsolve 1 to 2 questions. Paul, what's up? Yo, Paul, man. Yesterday I was in a cafe literally just doing math. Like random, like powers of twos. I think you might like some of these questions. We're gonna walk through it, but I'm gonna be focusing on my math all month. And a little bit of bit manipulation. Let everyone roll in real quick. Let me finish my protein. How's everyone's weekend? Anybody got plans? What's everyone up to these days? You can do C. I'm down to do CSES. I have that already. Hello, what's up? Alex, am I going for Codeforces Red? I don't know if I want to spend my time doing that. Maybe in a decade from now. Y'all like my mugshot? Yo, cool, what's up? LGM in 3 years? What's LGM? Oh, Legendary Grandmaster. I'm just going for 1600, which is expert. Who's the guy? I need to learn from him. Yo, the nice thing about the contest ratings here, don't told me 0 to 2100 is easier than 2100 to, yeah, probably. Bro, my LeetCode rating's gonna tank. I took an L on the last contest. I need to retry them and see what went wrong. Cause the problem is around pretty much from May to November, I wasn't really doing much LeetCode. I was just asking people interview questions, and that actually killed my momentum. So even things like implementing a heap from scratch, I struggle on that right now. I need to touch back on some of my basics. Your pic looks like a prison. Yeah, yeah. This if you search me up enough, you will see a article of me because I got in trouble with the law, and that's in the article. That's the picture. Your 2000 rated on LeetCode, will that be enough to get into SDE roles? For sure, bro. You're higher rated than me. If you're 2000 rated, you're in the top 2.5% of people who do LeetCode contests, and that's you're probably like top 0.5% of just LeetCoders in general, right? So if you're two, so of course you can get SDE role. I mean, are you rage baiting? Yeah, if you're a knight, of course you can get it. Bro, I got SDE role with my rating at four. Like even you can get an SDE role, even if you could solve at least 1 to 2 questions. Yeah, you got yo. Yeah, you can obviously get an SDE role. Where are you from? Maybe it depends on where you're from. I heard in India it's harder, but bro, I hope my Wi-Fi holds up today. Yeah, I don't know. What's the market like in India? Do they actually look at your Codeforces or LeetCode rating in order to give you a job? But I think if you can do yo Bobo, what's up, man? If you can do any contest, if you can do contest solve 1 to 2 questions, you're easily gonna be able to solve interviews because in interviews, like the questions on the contest are usually harder than the ones in the interview. So you can solve question 2 or question 3. You'll consistently you'll be able to pass any interview. If you can pass number 2 or 3, it'll be ranked over 1500 for sure. Bobo, where do I think you're from? Let me think. Philippines? What is Codeforces? It's competitive programming. It's more for competitive programming where LeetCode is more for straight up just getting a job. But I'm enjoying Codeforces. We're gonna go through all of the different. So this morning I did the contest. The contest was at 6:30 a.m. So pretty deadly. But I think we ranked pretty well. Paul, you're gonna like some of these questions. Let me finish my protein. Let's get into it. Why so? Because I dropped the article and then some dudes were hating. It's funny. Some guys like, because I dropped the article saying that I'm chasing expert, and then some dudes were hating in the comments. He's like, bro, you're 700, not expert. I was calling my hater, but like this guy's nice. He said, good luck with your journey. All right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Eliminators is doing Upsolve. Okay, you're from Bobo the Kid. Do you do TLE Eliminators too? Alex, yeah, I've been doing all the Codeforces and LeetCode contests coming up. Grab me some water real quick. Yo, I kind of want to work for TLE eliminators. If they can just give me I'll do it for free. Those guys are legends. I think TLE eliminators is has the most cracked people on. It might be the most cracked channel. Crib tour? You already did a crib tour, but I did the one in Calgary. But if you want to see my crib right now, it's gonna be. I want to drop a video on it, but I don't want to dox myself. So the moment I'm gonna move. I'm not gonna move it anytime soon. At tens, watch this. So if you want to see some IRL stuff. All right. Let's get into this. All right, Q1. Perfect root. So we're gonna put one here. Paul, I think you might like this one because it's a bit more math focused. I'm happy Paul's here so he can help me with some of the math stuff off the dot. Oh shoot, I gave my solution. Give me a sec. I don't want to pop up my solution right away. I want everyone to think about it quick and then we're gonna get to it. Yo, what the hell? I literally have it off. It's crazy. All right. But was wondering how to get foot in the door because I been getting resume rejected and got no experience, so it's game over right now. I got you, man. Just message me. You got me on Discord. You help me out with bit manipulation. I'll help you out get a job. All right. So the first question: perfect root. So let's read the question. A positive integer x is a perfect root if there exists an integer y such that if you square root the y, it equals x. For example, 5 is a perfect root because square root of 25 is equal to 5. For each test case, output n distinct perfect roots. Note that the values only need to be distinct within each test case. You can use the same value in different test cases. So that's sort of the Q1. So the first line is going to give you the test cases, then they're going to give you the number of perfect roots to output. So in this case, you have to output one perfect root, then two perfect roots, then five perfect roots. So how would people approach this? Discord link, check my channel page. Go on my channel pages and then you can see my channel links. So how is everyone going to solve this perfect root question? What do you mean print 1 to n? Okay, that's 10 said 2 to the power 2. Then go for A. What else? I want diversity in solutions so we can come up with the best one. Why sieve? Why does it have to be sieve? Make a factor tree. Generate primes, then square them. Okay. Square the primes. Why square the primes? Does every prime squared equal a perfect? Is every equal like a perfect root? No, no, don't worry, don't worry. I'm just trying to see what everyone's cover the basic of number theory. Like I was able to get this one. I just want to see what everyone else is thinking in case I did mine wrong. Okay, I'll walk through what I was thinking now. All numbers. Can all numbers be squared? Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, and that's yeah, because we just do 1 to n. Yeah, you just take 1 to n and just square them. That's true. You could actually just do that. Is there any other ways? I think that's a Q1. So um let me move this. What do you mean bring? Am I not back? Yo, chat. Y'all can see me? No, I didn't get Q2 on the LeetCode contest. But we can upsolve it. Let me just make sure. Somebody said that they can't see my audio or see my camera. All integers are perfect roots. Why would all is 3 a perfect root? Is 5 a perfect root? No, because if you yeah, I guess you're right. There's actually a trick question. Hold up, my green. Let me fix this. I gotta fix my green screen. Give me a sec. I bought a green screen so y'all can see what it looks like. There you go. Okay, so chat said print numbers 1 to n. Okay, I don't know. I think I overcomplicated then because like for my solution, this is my solution. In my solution, all I did was pretty much I just calculated or I pre-calculated all the powers of 2 because I know all powers of 2 are perfect roots. Because if you square root 8, you get 4, right? If you square root 16, or if you square root 8, you get 2? I don't even know. But basically, the limit is I just wrote this. Yeah, this accepted. I just wrote the power of 2, and basically for every test case, I just like grab the first n. What's square root of 8? Is it 2? Oh no, it's a 16. Because all of these are bases. See, wait. No, yeah, square root of 8 something. Like basically I went like I know there's some square root that squares to 2. I don't even know what I was thinking here. I forget my intuition. Okay, but it worked. Okay, I'll try print. Yeah, can you just print? Um, yeah, we'll try. We'll try to see the reason why I go live like this is so that we could actually come up with better approaches. But honestly, I don't know the math, but I guess yeah, because for every one you could just kind of. Does this just work? I've done system design before. I could do more. Handle King if that's what you're looking for. Yo, that accepts too. You could just literally just put anything. So I overcomplicated it. Damn. All right. Whatever. That was Q1. So what did we learn? So why does that work again? Let's think about it. So could have just output any number. This is div 4. Any integer is the square root of some number. Yeah, that's true, bro. Obviously, now that I think about it, because an integer is a continuous function, right? Or sorry, the square root. So at some point, any integer, pretty much any number is a square root of some number, right? Any positive. Is that how to reason about it? I'm trying to build some intuition here. That's for y. Yeah. Yeah, we could just. Oh my. Just thinking about it. Can you name? Yeah, exactly. I forget how. What's the relation? I see more patterns than blind 75 for sure. But blind 75 will get you your job, your dream job. All right, let's move on to the second question. So I need to study the relationship between square root and powers again. I it's been way too long. That's been through last time I remember doing that was like in college. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Dude, so hard to navigate this. Okay. Prefix Max. I'll explain this one. And then let's see what everyone in the chat says. So you are given an integer array of n integers from A1 to AN. In Codeforces, they like to one indexed for some reason. The value of an array is the sum of the maximums of each prefix of the array. More formally, the value of an array A is, you just need to take the max of every single prefix. So there's like the summation equation. For example, the value of this array is 1, 2, 1. So max of 1, max of 1, 2, max of 1, 2, 1 is equals to 5. You can choose two indices I and j and just swap them. And you can apply that at most one time. What's the maximum possible value of an array after at most one operation? Does that make did the question make sense to everyone? Question makes sense, chat? It's all good, man. I'm not that mature. Swap max start. Okay. What else? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Says same thing. Yeah. It's pretty much that. Pretty easy question, honestly. So a lot of people were actually able to solve this. 26,000, but on the next one it starts dropping. But yeah. Pretty much that was my solution as well. Pretty easy. You just You just read the input, find the max, and then multiply it by the size of the array. And that worked. Second one is pretty easy. First one was a bit of a trick question, so. All right, let's get to Q3. Piyush, what's up, man? What are you up to today? Oh, what did you do the challenge? Bro, it's pretty much you could just output any number from 1 to n. You could just input any number from 1 to n. I overcomplicated the power using the power of 2 here, but essentially you could just pretty much output any number from 1 to n because every number is square rootable. Or yeah. For every number you could take some sort of square root to get to it. All right, let's get to C. Okay, for C, you are given an array n integers of a1 to an. You're allowed to perform the following operation once. Select an integer x, which may be negative, and for each value I, set the element by x. So we can increase or decrease any element by, or we can like increase or decrease all the elements in the array by some delta. So for example, if a equals 1, 3, 4, 2, if we choose x, we can like move every single element up by 3. We need to output the maximum possible mex after the operation is performed. And mex is pretty simple. Mex of a is equal to the smallest non-negative integer in a. So if we have 0, 1, 2, 3, the mex is equal to 4. If we take away the 1, the max is equal to 2. So that's what the max is. So we want to figure out, so the question is essentially saying find an x such that we can move all elements in array by x. So we can increment or decrement. You can increment or decrement all elements in array by x. And then we want to maximize the possible value of max. Does that make sense to everyone? You ever get burnt out from work and doing problems? Low key, yesterday I was feeling so burnt out. Cause I did the contest in the morning, then I did the contest in the afternoon, and I was trying to work on side projects, and I just worked the whole week too. So I did trash on the contest, and I was like, damn. What makes it fun? Why is it fun to go to the gym and torture yourself at the gym? Cause once you see the results, it's amazing. Imagine I could just pull up any question and be able to solve it. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's weird that it's fun, but yeah, it's pretty competitive. Yo, chat. So what are we thinking? How would y'all solve this? So let's work through an example. The last contest was hard. So let's work through some example. They're giving us, for example, this. Why do this again? Because I went to sleep and I woke up and I feel I got energy again. Bro, burnout for me lasts like an hour. Yeah, it's fun. My job is fun. Honestly, life is good, man. I can't complain. That's why I do random stuff like this. You just need longest contiguous sequence of numbers that each number's difference is 1. Okay? Same thing what Paul said. Paul and Alec. Yeah. When starting to learn patterns, how long should you stare at a problem before looking at the solution? I would stare at a problem for 30 minutes. How many hours do I work? Man, if you're at the gym and you're just having fun, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. For sure, it's fun. You get a high near the end of it, but you need to be pushing. Some days are just straight torture. How many hours do I work? Probably for my job, like 8 to 10. Depends. If it's busy, sometimes 12 a day. So, Paul is right. Again, we pretty much just well, that's the way I solved it. So, essentially, we just need to find the longest sequence because we just need to find the longest increasing sequence because then we'll just anchor that at 0 and then we pretend this is supposed to 0. We just need to find the longest sequence, then we could just anchor that sequence at 0 and then yeah, that's true. We could probably get that in Ovan. But yeah, essentially the intuition is we could just anchor that sequence at 0 and that will produce us the longest mex. Because at the end of the sequence is gonna be the lowest integer. So we can take any sequence, we don't care if it's negative or positive and or its magnitude, but then we could bring it down to 0. So the sequence starts at 0 and increases from there. It doesn't need to be strictly increasing, it just be any longest subsequence, right? But we should only in our result we should only count distinct distinct integers in the path. So yeah, that's pretty much my code there. We read the input, we grab the like the array and we convert it to a set because we don't really care about duplicates. And then we sort that into a list and we just figure out the longest sequence and then we output that. But the intuition is that we could just take the longest sequence and anchor it at 0. Yeah, it's tough. Does that make sense to everyone? Loki, it's pretty funny when I hop on the stream. There's a lot of people concerned about like my work hours and stuff like that. But hopefully y'all know I'm okay. Cause every time I'm on the stream, somebody will ask me, "Yo, how much hours are you working? Why are you doing these questions?" At least once. But don't worry, my mental is good right now. I'm not gonna end up like Kai Cenat right now. Yo, and people are trying to act like I do nothing else with my life. It's crazy. Torture at the gym doesn't sound right or fun to me or necessary. Yeah, I guess. I'm just joking. I don't torture myself at the gym. I progressively overload my muscles. Same way I progressively overload even on these questions. I'm not going to do a question that's way above my skill level. I'm just going to do one that's slightly above. And then by the end of the year, I'll be good. But everyone understands Q3. Let's get into some. Q4 is more interesting. And then we're going to try to upsolve Q5. Yo, Alpha, this is a good question. Yo, why is everyone concerned about how much hours I'm working? Be concerned about Alpha. Look how much videos he's posting every single day. And how much mock interviews he's doing. You should see his schedule. That guy's grinding harder than me right now. Alpha code right there. Yo, get me a job there. Yo, Alpha, give me some time. I'm gonna get a job there too, and then we'll just shoot content together the whole shift. I don't think it's rest and vest though. Oh shit. Ambulance. All right. Q4. Out of memory error. Yo, this one is nice because at Rippling I used to ask a similar question to this. Yeah, yeah. Go subscribe to Alpha. Alpha has a video going viral right now. I think it's actually the best video I've seen on like mock interviews. Yo, Alpha, post in your Bloomberg interview thing. That one is sick. Let's see. Someone's asking who's Alpha. Alpha's this guy. He dropped a Bloomberg mock interview. It's pretty good. Has 27K views already. And almost 1,000
Yeah, for
likes.
prereq and prereqs.
Everyone go like and sub. Okay, let's work on Q4. Alpha, I think this is a good interview question actually. Out of memory error. So Bessie has an array n of integers from A1 to AN. So it's one index array. Bessie performs m operations on the array. The ith operation sets the index plus CI. Yeah, I already did this one. Unfortunately, due to rising RAM costs, Bessie's computer has limited memory, and whenever any element of the array is greater than h, her computer crashes, and every element in the array is reset to this original value. I really like this question because I used to ask an interview question exactly like this in one at Rippling when I worked at Rippling. Is Meta new PSC bottom 5%? Yo, man, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even pay attention to what's happening with like performance review and all the random stuff going on. The company's so large, random stuff's happening all the time. But maybe. How much ELO? I'm trying to get 1600 ELO. Let's see if mine moved up yet. It's open hacking phase. So yeah, let's work through an example. Does KP still do product? KP still do product fellow? I think so, yeah, they do. So the first line here is gonna be, we're gonna be given N, M. Yeah. The problem is I tried simulating at first, then I TLE'd. So first for the first example, before operations, we start at A121, right? And then these are the different operations. So the way to read this is one will, what is it? Increment? Okay. Increment index 1 by 4. So this will increment index 1 by 4. This will increment index 2 by 4. This will increment index 3 by 3. And this will increment index 2 by 0. You got into tech at the right time 4 years ago when Golden was probably like 2018, 2016, 2017, 2018. Bro, I switched with like 1 to 2 years of experience when the market was trash. Yeah, I switched jobs in 2022, 2023. I've interviewed in those with low experience and was able to get up leveled. So I think the market is not that cooked. Let's see. What is it? Yeah, I've gotten job every single year that the market was trash. So what's BI? The operation. Okay. So Paul, let's see what Paul said. Run the simulation. Paul, run a simulation. So in order to run in order to run a simulation, essentially on the first iteration we start 1 2, then we increment the index 1 by 4, we get to 5. We're given N, M, and H. H is the, so H is 5. Max that we can get to. Well, essentially 6 is the max. So in this iteration, so this is O of 1, right? This is O of 1 increase. And then when we go 2 to the 4, 5 to 1, we increase index 2 by 4. We get 6. And if you create a copy, that's an O of N operation. If we want to get this back to 5 2 1, two. Yeah, it goes back to initial, but it that's an O of N operation to get back to 1 2 1. And then so it starts off here. So let's say this is iteration 1. This is start. This is iteration 1, 2. For iteration 3, we go back to 1 2 1. And then we increase 3 by 3, so this goes as 4. That's an O of 1. And then we increment index 2 by 0. So the final array ends up being 1, 2, 4. So this is the bottleneck right here, this O of n operation. How do we reset back to... The key insight is, how do we reset back to O of n? Or how do we reset back to the initial without costing us O of n? Because suppose every time it goes over, then it leads to O of n squared algorithm, and there can be 10 to the 9 cases, right? So O of n squared for 10 to the 9 is a massive number. Can't do the math off the top of my head, but it's just massive. So chat, what's everyone thinking? How do we optimize this O of n operation? So that's kind of the key. Like, how do we optimize the O of n operation for resetting? Yo, Alpha, are you doing mocks tomorrow? I kind of want to sit in on one of them. That'd be funny. Like, I sit in on a live stream in shadow. But you just do your thing. I'll just join in on the, as long as the person's okay with it. And then we can, I'll provide like shadow feedback just to see how they do, because it's been a while since I did one of those. I want to see how candidates are performing these days. Or we can put someone through an on-site where you ask a question and later he hops on my Google chat and I'll ask him like a system design. Okay, what's everyone thinking for this? How do we optimize the O of n operation for resetting? That's the main problem here. What's everyone thinking? Alpha, what are you thinking? Paul, don't be shy. Let's figure this out so we can do the upsolve. We can upsolve. Okay. I thought of that too. Paul, I thought of that too, of using math. That's one solution I went down actually. Okay. Paul, maybe. Tenzin. All right. So this is I'll show you my solution. This one actually had a way lower pass rate. Had only not that many people solved it. But the way that I did it is I just created a hash map of all of the changes. And then if it ever reset, I just ditched the hash map. So the intuition is that we don't even really need to. So I pretty much had a hash map of all the changes. So as changes came in, I just stored the delta. Like, was it moving up or down? And essentially, if an array, like instead of updating array, I just kept track of which indices were changing and by how much. And if one ever went over if one ever went over like the maximum, I just ditched that dictionary, and that's just like garbage collection. Just leave it over one time. And then after, once we know the deltas, we just apply the deltas at the very end, and that gives us the result. Why do you need two arrays? What's the two arrays for? Make changes on one and then what? Yeah, O of n copy back to the original. What Paul said. So essentially the question is like we have this data store. Some of the indices, if any of the indices exceed some capacity, we need to reset it. So so I just need to figure out a way to reset it fast. And the best way to reset it is just have this dictionary. Yeah, Loki, I used to ask this interview question a lot, so I thought of it like pretty fast. But initially I just brute forced it. But I used to ask this as an interview question, but the interview question is even more complicated than this because it would the way that the interview question was there was like transactions. So it was like a database with transactions. They don't ask the question anymore, but you have a database, right? You have to store you have a database, and then you can perform like some operations in it, and then you need to be able to have transactions, which is all or nothing. So once you go into transactions, you can apply like some operations, but then you have to be able to roll it back fast. So the way to roll it back fast is just keep the delta between like the transaction and what's actually happening on the main or like the persisted storage, and then just ditch the delta after if the transaction fails. Hold up, let me fix. Dude, it's hot in here. Oh, with a lot of these, honestly, I just try to brute force it like right off the bat, real quick, and then I'll try to. It depends though. I need to learn how to read the constraints a little bit better. But what do you think about that solution, Alpha? Were you thinking around the same lines? Bro, like the thing is when you ask this question in the interview, some people can come up with the craziest solutions. Like somebody was implementing a work ahead log, so every change they were just updating the work ahead log, and then they would if the transaction failed, they would like jump back to the old one. It was crazy, and they're trying to implement that, and I was like, I'm sure that it will eventually work, but in the span of this interview, you're gonna fail if you go down that path. But Alpha, you should ask this question. You should actually ask this question, and then just have you can probably have multiple parts to it, or this might be like a good Q1 or Q2. It really depends on the candidate. I think with most candidates, like Paul, you would have probably you just need time points to end up less than 10 to the power 9. Like if I gave Paul this one, he'd be able to solve it in an interview, and then another question. So I think this would be a good like for 1 to 2 questions, like maybe number one or the second question. But it depends. With some of these questions, when some people figure it out, I guess there's a bit of implementation. So they're if they're getting worried or if they're under pressure, they might not be able to solve it. So I think Alpha, this might be a good question too. I don't know. What do you think? Are you bringing back mocks? If I ever do mocks again, yeah, but then it's also implementation alpha, because you need to figure out the changes, and then at the end you need to update the storage and then join it. So I think there's a few things they need to work with, like the hash maps, and then there's some implementation details. I think it still tests their implementation abilities a little bit, especially if they have to come up with the trick and then figure out the implementation. I don't know. I think it'd be good to ask to try it because it's similar to questions I've actually seen in real life. But tens, if I do mocks again, I wanna try asking Codeforce questions just to see how candidates do. I'm actually really curious about that right now. But I won't ask crazy Codeforce questions. But I just want to see. I just want to throw curveballs at them. Like they're expecting a LeetCode, and then they get a Codeforces. Bro, like, but no, I'm not gonna ask a stupid Codeforce question. I'm gonna ask a Codeforce question that I was able to solve within 10 to 20 minutes. Because if I was able to solve it, they'll be able to solve it as well. Like if they've been studying. Like imagine I asked them that Q1. Because the only one thing I don't like about asking LeetCode questions anymore in Alpha, I don't know if you feel the same, is that like a lot of candidates already seen some of the questions. So like going through the motions of somebody who already seen the question, like I get bored. I want to see somebody actually try to solve a question they never seen right in front of me. And like some of the questions are too hard for candidates as well. But like Alpha, I think you should still obviously do it because you're providing a lot of value. You're giving them really good advice on how to solve the question. But like and people really like it. But I'm gonna try to I kind of want to ask people some code force questions just to see how they would think about it at the let's see. We can use your hash map idea, but just swap the original and new value and set a boolean variable to set things back to the original. Yeah, there's probably multiple approaches to that, but I don't really get your approach. Like, why would we swap the original and the new value? Where would we do the copy over though? Yeah, but then every time it goes over, we're gonna have to do extra operations here. Suppose all of them actually changed by a little bit. The main thing is I just want this super fast. So if yours is able to get this super fast, then yeah, you're probably good. Let's move on to the next question. Robotic rush. I need help up solving this. What? The problem statement has been changed? No way. Oh, look, they added some extra thing to catch AI cheaters. Yo, look at this. Yo, look, this is how they catch some of the AI cheaters. It's like hidden in the code. All right, yo, chat. Read this question, and let's try to upsolve this. Help me upsolve this. I'll talk about my approach as well. This is a pretty interesting question. Let me take a little break and like 2 minutes, and we'll upsolve this. Everyone, take a read at this question and help me out. We need to upsolve this question. All right, let's upsolve. Upsolve time. This is the fun part. This is the part when we try to push our limits and improve our actually get to improve our rating. K is large, man. Okay, well, let's walk through the question quick, Paul. So there exists a long number line that's infinitely long. right? So infinitely long. There are n robots and m spikes, each located at a specific point on the number line. The ith robot is located at position AI, and the ith spike is located at position BI. So essentially, because I love Python, Anthropic just invested 50 billion into Python. So there's gonna be robots. So there's gonna be robots. Dude, I need to increase this by a bit. Okay, at some point we lose it. Okay. So there's gonna be robots, like let's say robots here, right? And then there's gonna be mines. Right? So blue is robot, X is or red is spikes. If a robot touches a spike, it dies. So there's gonna be a bunch of instructions, with each instruction either moving left by 1 unit or right by 1 unit. We need to output how many robots are still alive after the first I iterations have been processed. So essentially, we're going to be given something like LRRR like this. And then we need to keep track, and then we need to basically output. So on the first one, every robot's going to move left by 1. Then on the next iteration, every robot's going to move right by 1. They're going to get back to where they were. And then on the third iteration, they're going to move 1 more right. Right? And in this case, if there's 3 robots, suppose this is a mine. So we start off with 3 robots. On the first iteration, there's 3 robots are alive. Then there's still 3, but then after 1 dies, so we put 2. We essentially just need to put how many robots are alive after, like, for each iteration. Does that make sense, chat? Paul, I'll tell you right now, the simulation is gonna TLE. That operate what you mentioned there is gonna TLE. That's what I tried initially. I tried that as well, just simulating. So I tried that. At first, I tried creating a set of robots, and for each robot, sim we would No, I don't. Oh, maybe I have the code. That's this is my code initially. So I tried that approach that you mentioned, where we track all the robots and their index, and they have a set, and then pretty much for every move, we just simulate moving the robots that are alive, and then afterwards we delete them out. It's gonna TLE. We can sort, and then we use a map to index with max left movement and max right movement, and then do a binary search for each robot on the spikes. Okay, now somebody just literally said what my second solution was, the TLE. Maybe I just didn't implement it properly. Dude, isn't like this UI is so annoying. This is my second solution. Yo, what the? Okay, I need to figure out how to like navigate this way better. Enter. So I got a TLE here on at 9:56. This was my submission. Or I'll just show you my code actually. So we have a binary search to get the closest left and the closest right. Why'd you get banned from LeetCode contest? Were you cheating? I don't know what you should do, man. I've never been banned. Maybe they caught you cheating. You got banned for cheating. What am I gonna do? Okay, let me reach out to the founder for you. Okay, what so for robots. So my solution was kind of I can't help you. I don't have motion like that. So chat, what are y'all thinking? So Paul, like that solution you mentioned is gonna TLE. And then somebody mentioned the binary search solution, and that's kind of what I tried. Yeah, that's kind of what I did here. So for here, what I did is I just figured out for what's the first. So essentially, we start at some point in the middle, right? So 0. So given left, right, right, left, I was just trying to see what's the maximum, or like how many turns does it get? So for -1, 1, 2, -2, -3. I essentially was trying to figure out what's the minimum moves to get to a certain index. So for this one, we can get there in one move. Here we can get here in we pretty much get here in the second move. Right? So left, right, right, left. So essentially that's what I was doing. I cached for so I looked through all of the moves and I cached what's the earliest we've seen like that magnitude. What's the earliest we've seen go from -1 from the center line? What's the earliest we saw go from positive? Yeah, third move, not second, right? Yeah, yeah. Sure. Yeah, this is 3, right? So basically, and then what I did is I binary searched on the left and I binary searched to find on my left for every robot who's the closest person, or where's the closest mine to my left? Like what's the magnitude? What's the delta? And then to my right, what's the furthest, or who's the closest mine to my right? So I find the closest spikes to my left and right, and I find the delta there, and I already pre-calculate the deltas, and I just try to see like what's the earliest we would have seen that delta, and it TLE'd also. It was giving me the right result, but it TLE'd. Does my solution make sense? Who gets it? My solution. Yeah, maybe I implemented it wrong. Like trying to implement this in the middle of a contest took me an hour. So I finished the first five questions in the first four questions in the span of an hour, and then it took me an hour to get this one implemented in a TL lead. We can look at the standings and see what people did. Yo, how do people solve this in a minute? See what this guy did. What the? Okay, I did this. What's the difference between that and my? Okay, I don't think they used the binary search though. What? You track exact positions reached. When did the robot reach position exactly? But the robot may die with, before, or without ever landing exactly on the spike. What? How? I tracked that though. Yo, it's tweaking. Yeah, honestly, Chat GPT is so trash when it comes to these questions. It feels when you're working on. That's how you know you're working on hard problems is when Chat GPT tweaks out. Bro, this is like bad response. Code was incorrect. I noticed Chat GPT can't even do Codeforce questions. Okay, let me try something. Yo, Steve, were you able to solve the question? Were you able to pass this question? Okay. Yo, thank you, man. Appreciate you. What are these kids doing? What are these placebacks? Wait, A, B, C, D. Oh no, I have to do E. Yo, it's crazy. This guy solved it in 56 minutes, but still got a good mark. Still ranked high. What the hell's happening here? What? Nah, ain't no way this guy wrote all this code. Yo, these guys are tweaking. What is that? I don't want to learn C++, man. Okay, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Um, I probably just need to fix the implement. Let's see if I just need to. This was my solution that killed. This is my last time trusting ChatGPT. Oh shoot. Paul's trying to figure out too. Let's see, ChatGPT 5.2. Let's see if I just implemented it bad. Okay, that's a good idea, man. Check. So, I see. But are you good with C++? Like, could you read that person's and see if they're doing the same thing as me? Let's look at this person's. Bro, I can't help you if you got banned from LeetCode contest. Why is this person using a priority queue? Ordered multi-set. Ordered set. Okay, these people are using ordered set. Honestly, I'm not that familiar with ordered set. Okay, key insight. The first spike a robot can ever hit must be the nearest spike on its left or right. It can't die on a further spike without first stepping on the closer one in this direction. Yeah, I know this. I haven't used ordered set. I need to learn that then. So for each robot, you only need. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. So prefix this SI displacement after I moves start. Oh, I see. They're kind of reframing the problem a bit. Oh, I see what they're doing. I think what's slow is my binary search. Is it? Okay. Oh, yeah, maybe my binary search is off by one. Let's see. I need to get that down too. I guess you could just use bisect. Why'd I implement it from scratch? Let me just save this. Let me just quickly. I want to upload this. I want to keep track of these so I don't. So like when I add git init, let me delete Codeforces right here. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this in a sec. I just need to upload it. So how long is? Yeah. Dude, I'll wait for you, man. I'm trying to upsolve this question. Implement it and send it to me. I'll wait for you because I'm trying to upsolve this question. I think I just need to. I don't know why I implemented the binary search myself. Okay. Let's update their code. Or let's use that in the other code. I can try that. What's constant factor? I've never had to work with that. What? Oh, I'm on 1074. Let me try switching it. No way. If that's why I'm TLing, I'm gonna spaz. I would have got higher on the thing. I didn't know what that meant. I wasn't even like paying attention to that. TLE 3000 milliseconds. Let's look at the actual test case. Yo, working on this thing, you know. That is my old code. Yo, this website is like painfully slow. Yo, it's probably just something wrong with my binary search off by 1. I think my implementation is just bad. Um, let's just use cursor and then I'll figure out how to fix this later. Can you fix this binary search code? My app off by 1. Jeez. Yeah, it probably just TLE'd because I have like off by 1 where it doesn't like lower the space, yeah. Bro, I need to work on my bind. The sun is coming. Sun's going in my eye. Let's try this now. Yo, I should have just actually tested it on C test details. This is where it failed. TLE on test 4. Or let me just submit. I made changes. Pi 10. I just had to fix my binary search there a little bit. Oh, it got accepted. Damn. I messed up my binary search. Just the bounds. Yo, I would have ranked so high if I solved that question. Damn. I think I overkilled it compared to the other kids too. What'd I mess up? Damn. Okay, we had the right solution. It was more just like implementation. That's my problem right now with some of, because I'm not used to binary searching. I should just use bisect as well. I shouldn't have to implement that from scratch right on the spot. Let's see if it works with just regular Python. All right, it works on regular Python, but it's way slower. Yo, Paul, you still there? We figured out the solution. It was just like my binary search was tweaked. Um, like now that I'm doing competitive programming, I don't think I'm gonna have to learn how to. I won't have to implement this from scratch. I'm gonna just use bisect. You gotta use every advantage you can get. Navigate. Damn, I would have scored way higher. Yo, Paul, it's the same. It was the same thing that I'm doing, but I just messed up my binary search. I just accidentally had an infinite loop in my binary search, so it wasn't TLEing because my algo was too slow. It was TLEing because my binary search had an infinite loop. Because I implemented the binary search from scratch. I should have just used the bisect. Because I'm treating it like a real interview. But I should just straight leverage. Let's see how much faster this is. And also they want you to use PyPy instead of Python. It's way faster for some reason. Why is that the case? 500 milliseconds. So you could see I submitted the same thing in Python 3 versus PyPy, and Python 3 was way slower. I see. Wow. Damn. Good to know. Good to know. What libraries doesn't it support? Does it not support? Okay, and then we're gonna try. So I guess our solution worked, but like the intuition there works. There's other ways to think about it, but did they post a solution? Codeforces website is insanely slow, but the submissions are fast. But like navigating it is torture. Yo, only 4,000 people out of the 42,000 were able to solve that question. What was your solution? The initial one? Okay, we learn something new every day. Oh, it's actually tagged binary search and two pointers. Interesting. It was actually tagged as binary search, so it might be the binary search solution. Yo, I'm gonna just start spamming bisect left and bisect right. Cause every time I'm because literally every time I'm using a like every time I'm in the contest and I have to do a binary search, I get so cheesed. F the trees. Bro, I planted a bunch of trees in the Philippines in the last month. So offense to so bisect. Oh, so okay, so we find what does this work? What if you can't find Yo, I want to upsolve one of the LeetCode questions. I'll show you it. Yo, Steve, do you also do the LeetCode competitions or not really? Should be inserted to keep the list sorted. Okay, fines. Yeah, I just need to do more binary search questions. But leverage bisect. Okay. Bro, I never use bisect. I usually just implement it from scratch. Yo, I could barely do 1,000 rated questions, Stevie. I've been doing TLE eliminators 1,000. I can solve them, but it takes me a while. Why? TLE eliminators is bad? Bro, because TLE eliminators, those guys seem cracked. Yo, honestly, I need structure like that. That's how I do better. Well, I do contests, right? But then outside of contests, I also try to do like structured. So I try to focus on like contests and then also learning theory. I can't just be doing contest questions constantly. That then I'll actually feel burnt out. Yeah, I'm a math noob. Yo, let's see if my rating went up, please. Okay, we're gonna try to upsolve some questions. I got wrecked on the on this last contest. Okay, let's try to upsolve this. This might be like some greedy. Like I couldn't figure this out. I was thinking of like a backpack. It reminds me of like zero to one knapsack problem. Alpha might be able to help me with this one. Do div 4H? Yo, I can't do div 4H, man. I don't want to do div 4H because I didn't even try yet. I usually like to give them a try and then do it. I wonder what I ranked as. Oh, do div 4H? Hell no. That's way too out of it. Like I'm not trying to do it on the I'm the thing about the stream that helps me, Paul, is that everyone comes up with their own solutions and we could discuss it in a funner way. Like I only stream for a couple hours, but I'm spending or the like some other hours, like few more hours working in silence by myself. So I like to keep it as interactive as possible if I'm on the stream. You were able to solve F? How was F? Yo, somebody help me upsolve this. Let's think about this. Read the question real quick, and then we're gonna discuss. Let me take a quick break. Water break. One sec. I mean, I solve unsolved problems on the stream all the time, but not unless if it's too difficult. I'm too lazy for that sometimes. Why is this classic? I've never seen this before. My green screen doesn't reach that high. Too tall for this thing. All right, We got the standing desk going. All right, all right. So chat, help me out with this. I'm gonna try to solve this again, and I'll use the hints, but we'll try to do this live. 17% acceptance rate. This is not an easy question. During the contest, everyone was complaining about it. I don't know if it's knapsack. I was thinking of knapsack, but then I was too lazy to implement it. But then also people said they TLE'd. Okay, let me take a quick break. Water break, water break. Then we're gonna upsolve this. Yo, Farzan, I was gonna hit you up. I'm trying to upsolve this question. What contest was this? I got folded on this question. Yo, Farzan, what's your rating? I'll show you what I tried. Dude, I got folded, man. I got folded. Wow, that's good. See, you're way better than me. No way. That's smart. Yeah, I just started doing the contest, so I'm just slowly getting into it, but I need to improve hard. So, okay, let's restart this question and think about how I was thinking about it and then go from there. I'm gonna This is take two after getting a good night's sleep. Well, I only slept 6 hours, but yo, chat, there's a new feature called Peralta Assessments. Check it out. You're gonna need to log in. Dude, I'm rating maxing this year. I'm rating maxing. But really? Just black box, segment tree, and sparse tables? Is that how you solve this? Yo, chat, I launched a new feature called assessments. You're just gonna need to log in. It's not paid, but that's just to stop abuse. But now we have Peralta 75s and Peralta mock assessments. Cost and capacity, both length and. All right. Yeah, dude, Farzad, just when you think of, just watch how I reason about it and tell me where I'm going wrong. Yo, what's the weather in the South Bay? I'm dying over here. It's hot. What's that in Celsius, man? Talk to me in Celsius. Not bad. Yo, Paul, how are you enjoying the weather out here in the Bay Area for winter? You can't tell me it's not nice. Man, I'm from Calgary, Alberta. It's like negative 30. Yeah, like snow on Christmas hasn't been the same. Y'all are tripping. Bring in the heat. Okay, let me lock in. Maximal focus. Maximal focus. I won't look at the chat too much unless I get stuck. You're given two integer arrays, cost and capacity, both of length n, where cost I represents the purchase cost of the ith machine, and capacity I represents its performance capacity. You're also given an integer budget. You may select at most two distinct machines such that the total cost of the selected machines is strictly less than budget. So choose two machines that maximize the max capacity. But within the budget. So we're given the cost and capacity. Dude, LeetCode descriptions are way nicer than the Codeforces ones. So we essentially have four machines. One that costs 4 but gives you 1 capacity. One that costs 8 but gives you 5 capacity. One that costs 5 but gives you 2 capacity. And one that's 3 and gives you 7 capacity. Now we need to pick two. Pick at most two with a budget of 8. I mean, obviously the brute force is just O(n) squared. To the power of 2. Choose every 2 combination and see what's the max. So if there wasn't, the thing is, if there wasn't a budget, I would just choose the 2 highest, and this would be an easy question. But there's a budget, and that affects everything, because if I add a budget, or it makes it so that my previous decisions affect later decisions, because whatever machine I choose as my first one will affect my budget on the next one, because it will lower my budget. So earlier decisions affect later ones, because choosing a machine will lower the budget. I don't really do the dailies. So let me, so this is the cost. So we're doing cost. Because the dailies vary too much in difficulty. Some dailies are easy, some dailies get up to hard. If you want to really improve your skills, you should just use something like Zero Track, where you know what your rating is, and just do questions higher, just slightly higher than what you could solve. So right now my rating is at 1670. So I'll probably do questions between 1800 and just focus on questions like that, and then slowly move up that way, versus the dailies kind of is all over the place. I don't want to even solve easy questions during the day. Yeah, you can binary search by trying questions at different ratings to find your rating, or the way that me and Farzan did it is just do contests and see where your rating lands, and then you can see my rating as a 1679. So I just need to do between 17 and 18 to push myself. That's why I don't do dailies. Alright, I might have to clip that. What is a good contest rating? If you can if you knight? Yeah, if you're a knight, you're solid. So I'm not even a knight yet, but I got into a fang without even being a knight. So I don't think you really need a knight. I think you just need to be able to solve questions 2 and 3. Nah, you don't need to be a knight to be. Yeah, is it just pattern based? Yeah, it's pretty much just like study the tag questions kind of thing. Yeah, and mostly pattern based. So later decisions affect earlier ones. Yeah, Farzan, I was on track to hit knight because I was hitting like 2,000, 4,000, 3,000. But then in the last ones I just totally got wrecked. So I was on a good trajectory. That's why I was so I've yesterday was depressing day, not gonna lie. Yeah, you gotta study. You're gonna have to study your LeetCode. So how do we solve this one? So we can't really do greedy. So let's sort this. What do we sort by though? So we're saying two machines. The one with cost is 0. So this is machine 0. This is machine 1. This is machine 2. And this is machine 3. So they're saying if we use machine 0 and machine 3, we get 8. And that's the maximum. Yo, Paul, they're only like an hour and a half. You could probably just crunch it out real quick. And you could probably solve the first 3 questions in the first 30 minutes and just call it. Okay. You're sleeping at that time? The contests are at like 6:30 p.m. Yo, Farzan, give me a small hint here. What? You had to use a segment tree? Because the thing is, if there's 1,000, my best bet will be to use 1,000. Or pretend this was 1M. But if this was like 909K, why would you need to use a segment tree though? Then I would just choose these ones again. So that's how it affects. So the first thing I was thinking was just 0 to 1 backpack. But it's been a while since I did that, so I just couldn't even implement it on the spot. We can't just greedily choose the biggest one. What another way that I was thinking, chat, was we have budget, right? We can what if it is we just figure out the best like for one machine. Figure out the best with budget 1, the best with budget 2. The best with budget 3. Best with budget 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? But then we just store the max 2 of each budget. Because like because what if I already chose? And then we would take one. Okay. Like the thing is, I was thinking of some of these solutions, but I thought it was gonna TLE. Okay. So kind of sort everything. So we sort everything. We sort everything by capacity, right? Bro, honestly, I was thinking a solution like this, but I thought it was gonna TLE because the budget was large. Sort by like this. Yeah, I already have it like that. So that will give us cost. So we get cost and capacity. So if we choose this one, we'll have a budget of 5 left. But I guess if we choose this one, we'll have a budget of, we can choose behind us. If we choose this one, I guess we could just start at the highest capacity. Am I making sense? Do we sort by cost and capacity? See what the hint says. Okay. Okay, maybe then for each one. Do we have to look this way? Start from here though? Start from here. I think we just need to move from right to left though. So when we binary search, we could set the left and right bounds here. Or I guess we don't even need to binary search, but essentially, suppose we choose 5. Then all we need to do is choose. Well, we can binary search to find the lowest, but then we'll need to scan. That's where I was thinking it's gonna fail. Where because the scan. But let me try the left and right pointers. We have a left and right pointer. This is greater than the capacity. Stop asking. This thing keeps asking me that pop up. Wait, so for the binary search, what would happen? Suppose we're looking for an L. We have 8, 5. Now we have to look for anything less than 5. So we're trying to find the boundary of 5, or sorry, 3. So it's pretty much anything here, right? And then 5. Bro, I did trash on the contest. I couldn't solve this question. Cause this. Okay, let's write down my thoughts here. Easiest. It's we can find all elements under the budget, under the new budget, after selecting a number. But how do we scan for the best result under that budget? That's why I was like, do we need a prefix sum? Like if we know. Oh, prefix max. Okay, okay, okay. Yo, honestly, I swear to God, in the contest, I was actually, I was halfway implementing that, and I just couldn't get it. I was trying to get a prefix max as well. So basically, what's the capacity here? It's 3. And then we just binary search on that. So what would we get here? The prefix max would be 7. 7. But we also need to maintain the capacity, right? So this is capacity 3. Capacity 4. Do we need to maintain the capacity at all? What do you mean prefix max from 1 to n? So we're gonna have a 1 to n as in like um we're gonna be doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're gonna try to fill these in. Prefix max of the cap. Okay, there's a bunch of ideas floating around. Let's all just figure out one approach and go with it. Yo, Alex, let's get it. I've been up since 6:30 a.m. leak coding. Yo, okay, what's the 2 point? Okay, let's iron out a solution. Okay, if you think the 2 pointer solution is easier for me, I can try that as well, and then we can iterate from there. Nice, legend. You should not know. Jamil, solve probably 1 to 2 questions a day, 1 to 5. So if it's greater than, we're gonna move the budget here. So for 2 pointer, if the cap is greater, reduce one of the pointers because we're trying to get within that range. If less, then increment pointer. Yo, and Kush, you gotta send me the code, man. You're saying a solution that's different than everyone else, no? But what if it's the same? Yo, Farzan, the thing is, suppose like once we get within a certain range, yeah, if the so if the combined cost is greater, decrement. If the combined cost, if the combined cost is less than increment pointer. But the thing is, what about once we're in the middle though? Once we actually get to a good bound, suppose we have 3 and then we have 8, everything in between is fair game, right? So it's like a O of n squared to look at all those solutions. No, but then that leads to an O of n squared solution. Yo, what's the prefix max? How do I calculate the prefix max? Is it essentially like, suppose I have an array. 5, 3. Would the prefix max be like 1, 1, 4, 4? Something like this. What's the max if I could with just 8? If you have a prefix maxer, you don't need to scan everything. You just need to find max cost that you can pair with a certain cost. Yo, Farzan, hop on the voice. Cause you're telling me a two-pointer solution. I think what's happening. I think what's happening right now is there's multiple solutions coming in, and everyone is giving me a different solution. Is confusing me. Like, let's just go with one solution. Yo, why are you watching NFL if SF is already out? I'm not watching no more NFL. I'm loyal to the soil. Come on. I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch football at all. I just watch the 49ers from time to time. So I'm pretty cooked. Okay, let's see how this looks if we do a prefix max. Prefix max, we get 3. We get 4. We get 5. Sorry, 3. Well, that's capacity. We get 7. We get 7. We get 7. What? Would this be a prefix max for capacity? Because the max here is 7. Now, for selecting one machine, take the maximum capacity among all machines with costs less than budget. Oh, it's like prefix max on. But it has to be less than. So do we have to work backwards? Prefix max backwards? Is this suffix max? I don't know. Somebody was saying two-pointer, but let's just go with the binary search. So we have. Well, yo, is this the proper prefix max here? So if this is a capacity 3, this capacity 4, this capacity 5, this capacity 8. Or do we have to build the prefix max like this? Shit. Let's go. Why is that in the building? Yo, Zesty.
Hello.
What's up, bro? Long time.
Hey, how have you been?
I'm good, man. Are you at a family party or like with friends?
Yeah, bro, I'm like just in the back. I mean, the Wi-Fi here is kind of bad, but
Okay, what's this two-pointer
like
thing you're
hopefully.
talking about? That's
Wait, say that
confusing me.
again?
What's this two-pointer thing you're talking about? That's what's confusing me.
Bro, okay, wait. Let me share my screen. Forget the two-pointer for now. Maybe like I overcomplicated it. What I'll do is I'll just show you how I solved it in the contest.
Yeah, solve it like step by step, like your thought process too. Trying to see.
Yeah, wait 1 second. Let me might be better if I just share my screen. Hold on. How do I share my screen on this? 1 second. Okay. Entire screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, let me go in there. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, okay. So like in the contest, right? I didn't solve it using suffix max, right? But you can like upsolve it. Like the explanation, the crux of the solution is still the same. Um what I did was for now, right? I used a sparse table. Like you don't need to really worry about that. I'll tell you what it does, right? All the sparse table does is that it has a query function. Um it will like in this array, right? Like between the L and R indices inclusive, it'll just give you the max value within that array.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? Yeah,
Yeah,
and it'll do it in like constant time. So that's all like that's you can just black box that for you don't even I don't even know how it's implemented, right?
yeah.
But you can just assume that it works in constant time, right? So then what you do is you first what I did first was I sorted the cost and I sorted the like I sorted, everything by the cost, right? So you can see I have these two new arrays like sorted cost and then new capacity. New capacity is just like, when you sort the sorted costs, right? The corresponding capacities, right? I just kind of put them in the array based off of the sorted cost, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, so it's like like you can see over here, right? I print out sorted cost and new capacity. Um,
Yeah, it's just sorted.
so it's like, yeah, it's like 3 7, right? And then 4 1, right? It's like the corresponding capacity, right, for the sorted for like the relevant cost. Like I think I'm explaining this bad, but you can kind of get what this is, right? It's pretty
Sorted
simple.
cost. Like, why didn't you just join them together? Or
I
like,
mean, I did, I did, but so if you look over here, like I did join them together, and then I had to make them separate arrays because like I'll show you why.
okay,
The sparse table, right? It just takes like given two indices, right? It'll give me the max capacity within these two indices, if that makes sense.
okay,
So let's just like look at this sorted like this example over here, right?
yeah,
So 3 and 4. What you can do here is you can essentially, let's say we want to test out for our first machine, right? We're on the machine with like cost 3,
yeah,
right? We're on the machine with cost 3. So we can and you can like let me know if there's something here you don't understand, right? But would you agree with me that if we're on this machine with cost 3,
yeah,
we can use binary search, right, to find like kind of the first machine, right? In this case, it will be 4, right? Such that everything below, like between 4 and 3, we know that the sum costs of these won't exceed the budget,
Yeah.
right? So like in the binary search, for example, we'll try with 5. We're like, okay, it's going to be 8 because it needs to be strictly less than budget, right? Then we decrement the resulting binary search. It will lead us to say that, hey, like, this is going to be like 4 is going to be the maximum. Like this index over here, like 1, right? This is going to be like the maximum like kind of machine complementary machine such that we don't exceed the budget.
Wait, so what are we binary searching on? The capacity or that first array?
So this is the cost, right? So what we're doing is we're first trying every single machine, right? As like the first machine in the pair.
Yeah.
So like so in this, my code is kind of like shit, but we're iterating through sorted cost, right?
Okay.
You can ignore these for now. These are just like if it's greater than budget, we return, or if it's the last one, we return,
Yeah.
right? But my comment here, right, is find the first index between I plus 1 and end, where end is like just the end of the last element of the array,
Okay.
right? Where the total cost is greater than budget, right? And then we subtract by 1. Essentially, what my binary search is doing is that we're simply finding, right? In this case,
Wait, what do you mean greater
yeah.
than budget? Why does it have to be greater than budget?
Yeah, like, okay, the way I do the binary search is like a little bit different. It's like if you find the first index where it's greater than budget, then we can just subtract by 1, right? And that'll be like the last valid index for a complementary machine.
So suppose we pick 3 as the first machine, right? So we're
Mhm.
binary searching for 5 because that's what's left.
Technically we're binary searching for 4, right? Because okay, when we get to 5, right, then the total cost will be 8, right? Which we can't do that. Okay.
I thought we
So
can
we
get
can
8.
get
Oh, so we're binary.
it needs to be strictly less than budget,
Okay,
strictly
okay.
less.
So we're binary searching for like the budget minus ours minus 1.
Budget minus R minus. Yeah,
Like
that's
1.
also like that's a good way to put it. That's like the equivalent thing, right? That's like it's the same thing as like this condition I have over
Sure.
here. Yeah, like you can like the actual implementation of the binary search, I feel like it's not that important, right? It's just that like you can use binary search to find like if we're at 3, right? The
Yeah.
binary search will return this index over
Yeah.
here, right? Because this is like the last possible index,
Yeah. That
right?
makes
Like
sense, right?
everything,
Like so we could kind
yeah,
of ignore everything to our right, but then all the things to our left are candidates, essentially.
exactly, yeah, yeah. That's like that's literally the crux of the binary search. Like the implementation, how I did it's kind of
Yeah.
weird. It's not that important,
I
but
get
what you
that.
said is exactly correct.
I get
What
that,
you
but
said is
like
exactly.
how do we figure out the max with what's left? Like and not
Yeah,
including
yes.
the one that we picked, like because we chose 3.
Right. Yeah. So that's where like the sparse table comes in, right? Because we have, let's say for 3 and 4 is kind of like a shit example, right? Because what do you call it? Like there's not that much stuff in between them. But if I go to like Excalibur and then if I have like 3, 4, 1, right? Um, I don't know. This is like not the best example. Um, let's see. So the budget is in this case is going to be 7, right? If we have like yeah, I'll just explain it here. So we have 3, 4, 5, 8, right? We're at first this 3. Let me put it here. Right, this is our first pointer, right? And then we like when we binary search, right? We find the first possible, like
Yeah.
this is the last possible index, right? So
Yeah,
4, because
that makes
anything
sense.
beyond this, right, the budget increases.
Yeah.
So what we can do here is I use the sparse table, right? That I can just basically do what do you call it? Where's the text? Like I can do like sparse table dot query, right? Max. And I'll give it like the next index. So let's say this is 0, 1, it'll be 1, 1, right? And then this will give me this equals to 1. So what this does is, right, in between the range, what I do is like the first index is 0, right? So we don't want to include it. So we do the next index after that, right? So it'll be like 0 plus 1, right? Which is why it's 1, because we don't want to include this element in it,
Yeah. But what if there's
right? And then we
other
do,
smaller, like better values to your left?
yeah. So if there are other like better values that are left, like the sparse table, right? What it does in constant time, it'll just take the maximum of the capacities in the range, right? It's like, let's like a better example is, let's suppose like the budget here is, the budget is 9, right? Then like if we assume the budget is 9, right, the binary search would return here, right? It'd be 3, 4, 5, 8,
Yeah.
right? Like this would be the end, because 5 plus 3 is 8, that's still within the budget, but 8 plus 3 is 11, that's above the
Yep.
budget, right? We binary search and we get 5, right?
Yep.
Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so then our query, right? It would be like, with this new modified example, right? We would take in this last index, whatever. So this is index like 2, right? That the binary search returned.
Yeah.
And this is like our starting index, right?
Yeah.
So then what we do is we will just use the sparse table, right? It knows that it can take the maximum of these intermediary values, right? That are all potential candidates, right? It'll take just the maximum of these in constant time. And right, it will return, in this case, it will like return, it'll return 2, right? And then what we do, so then we do like res equals to max res, like 3, or it'd be 7, right, for this first element, plus the maximum within the range, which is 2. And then, does that kind of make sense, this implementation?
I get it, but like, what if to the left of the 0th index there was candidate? Pretend there was something with a capacity of 1 with 1,000.
Like you're saying to the left of the 0 index?
Yeah. Or we already would have captured that when moving left to right.
Yeah, but the thing is, we do this whole operation, right, for every single index, right? So we just did it for 0 and 2, for the 0. Our starting point is 0, right? Then in a loop, right, what we do is we then like move this pointer here, right? And then we do the same operation for these remainder ones.
So we don't need to check to the left of like that pointer, because we've already checked in the previous.
Yeah, we don't need to check, like we're still essentially checking all the pairs, right? We don't need to ever go to the left, right?
Okay.
Because if, let's say 4 and 3, right, were complementary, like we've already checked 3 and 4.
That makes sense, like 1,000%. So why did you use a sparse table? And like, what's a sparse table? Never heard of this.
Yeah, so a sparse table is literally like, because so with the with like a prefix or suffix max, right? Like I'm still like honestly not like fully fleshed out on the details, but with a sparse table, like you see how these queries here, right?
Yeah.
They're between these two values. When you're doing like a max or minimum, right? Like it isn't the same as like a prefix sum, where like you can take the intermediary values. Like prefix max only works, I guess, if you have like, if you're querying to the end, right? Like this, if you want to find this or this or this,
or
right?
prefix sum.
But
yeah.
But like
okay.
In my example, right, I have like these, I want to find it in the middle of the range, right?
I see.
And so the sparse table allows me to do that in like very efficiently.
See, that's the part that I tripped out. Like when we did the prefix max, it was like 7777, right?
Yeah. Like I would refer to what was that? What was the other guy in chat? Like I mean, I think like once you get to this stage, like I'm also gonna try and upsolve like the prefix max part. But what do you call it? Yeah, I don't know. It's like maybe people have like opinions on whether or not you should be using like sparse table or like segment tree, right? But like, in my opinion, right, like this is just like one other way to solve the problem. And like if you want to focus on just like contests or whatever, I feel like it just doesn't hurt like just having an implementation ready. And like you only need to know that this runs in constant time, right? And it makes, at least in my opinion, like solving problems like these easier.
Yeah. So, okay, what was the two-pointer solution you're talking about? That makes sense, like 100% sense. We find the index, and then we find the thing to the right, and then we could easily query an ov one time the next machine under that budget. I get that.
Exactly. Yeah.
What would it make sense if we did the pointer from right to left then? From right to left. Like we started the pointer from right to left, then we could just easily find the max budget like under 3.
Let's see. Let me think. Wait, can you repeat that again?
Okay, we start our pointer here, right? So instead of finding the ranges, we just binary search for 8 minus 3, which is like 5. So that puts us, or 8 minus 3 minus 1, so that equals 4. So it'll get us to the pointer, it'll get us to 4 there, and then we could just find the prefix max of that.
Wait, but if we get to 4 here, right? Like, won't it exceed the budget? Like, if we have like some pointer here.
Oh, I see. Well, no, that's budget 8. Okay, but like for 5, right?
Oh,
Like if we
let's
move from
see.
right, like what if we explore moving the pointer from right to left and left to right? I wonder if that could get us away than using the sparse table.
Oh, I see what you mean. Honestly, yeah, it probably could. Like, I think, like if you maybe reframe it, so like you want to find, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think like you can probably do it that way. Um,
For
yeah,
example,
I
like
don't know.
yeah, like you
I still
start
have to
with
like
the
think
highest
about it.
ones, right? You start with the highest budget, and then if I choose
Mm-hmm.
this machine, then when I subtract the first machine, then I just end up to something on the left. Like the binary search pointer ends up on the left of me.
Right. I mean, it's just like the reverse direction, right? Like, what's like? I don't think there's too much of. I don't know how that eliminates
But
the need for like
then
the
can we just look
sparse
at the
table.
prefix max after that? So if we find the index and suppose it lands at 4, and with 4 we know we can get to 7, then we just
Hmm. Bro, low key, like I don't even know. Like I still have to like think about it. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, I think I would like yeah, I would refer to the other guy. I think the
Okay,
other guy in chat
I'll take a
knows how to
look.
solve it.
Okay, what about the Q3? You have
Q3 is
time.
mad easy, bro. Like you
What?
should have gone that for sure.
Hell nah.
100%.
Okay, let's see.
Let's just do I'll just show you in the code. Um, like we can just have wait, have you already read Q3 by the way?
Yeah, dude, I tried to use a heap. Oh, you're using sorted list. I don't know how to use sorted list.
Bro, you don't know how to use sorted list? Oh,
Nah,
I
I
mean,
haven't even used this.
you can probably use a heap with like lazy deletions, I guess. Like you can just instead of removing it from the heap, whenever it comes up to the top, you can just check if it's been deleted or not. And then I think that is a way you can solve it with heap. Because I'm assuming your issue was like you didn't know how to do like remove bid using the heap, right?
Also updating. I was like, I had to. Okay, I had the heap right, and then for each one it would be
Hmm.
sorted. Then I was using the heap like when you would increase and decrease. I had to update the heap. Update the heap.
Yeah, man, bro. Bro, I'm a bad person to be asking about these problems then, bro. Like all my solutions are just like cheese, like trying to
Okay,
find the easiest
okay, explain me
solution
this
the
sorted list.
fastest.
I haven't even used this sorted. The thing is, I don't even think back when I was interviewing, sorted list is similar is a tree map, isn't it? Or no? Kind of
Yeah,
like that.
it's basically it's the same thing as a tree map.
So back like when I first was interviewing, that was I don't think that was even in Python, bro. I had to like switch to Java just to use a tree
Mm,
map. But I don't remember.
it's not part of the standard library.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like some guy
Okay,
makes. It's actually just
how
like
does it
one guy
work?
that just
Like what
maintains
does
it.
it even do?
Yeah, so sorted list, right? I'll just tell you what it does. You can just think of it as a list, right? The append, right? In sorted
I
list, it's
can't believe
actually
you can
called
use this. It's actually crazy.
yeah, it's actually so when you want to add an element, right? To the end, right? You can do dot add. And so dot add, right? This runs in I guess approximately log time,
Yeah.
right? So say you want to add dot add 5, right? Then this becomes uh like you will have then here 5, right? Let's say you do dot add 4, right? This is also log n, right? Your array will look like your sorted list will look like 4 or 5. And then
Yeah.
if you want to do dot remove 4, right? This is also log n. and your array will look like 5. These are literally the only these are the only operations you need, right? These all run in log n, and you only need add and remove to be able to like solve this problem.
What about updating?
So updating, yeah, so I can just show you the logic, how I solved it. It's like I have comments already, so it should be like pretty straightforward. What we do is for this problem, right? Like at least what I did was I have first a hash map, right, that contains a tuple of the item ID and the user ID, right?
Yep.
And it maps it to their bid amount.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a sorted list, right? A hash map where for each item, right, we maintain a sorted list of the bid amount and the corresponding user ID.
Mm-hmm.
So it stores like it stores tuples of the bid amount and then the like user ID, right? So let's say we want to like add a bid, right?
Okay, so it's sorted by bid amount. So we know the highest bid just surfaces to the top. Like it keeps it in sorted
Yeah,
order, right? Like the leftmost is going to
mhm.
be the highest and the rightmost is the lowest.
Yes, and it's sorted by bid amount, and then the user ID, right? It sorts it by bid amount, and then because it sorts as a tuple,
I see.
is the first element, and then it also like in case there's a tie, right, between the bit amounts, then it will sort by the user ID. It's just like standard tuple sort.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and then where did it go?
Bro, I got cooked by the content, like even Codeforces, because I didn't use bisect. I should just use build.
Oh
I
yeah, you
need to
should, yeah,
realize how to use the inbuilt. I'm not used to it because usually in the interview you can't.
Okay, dude, I want to explain it, but honestly, you should just upsolve it yourself.
Yeah, I think it
Like
makes.
I don't.
If I look up sorted list, it'll probably just make sense in a few seconds.
Yeah, I thought you knew sorted list. Yeah, I think for
No, I
contests, I feel
don't.
like they're pretty helpful.
So what's a sorted list? It's like it just maintains everything in a sorted order. So when you add things, it keeps it. Yeah, actually, I haven't.
Yeah, you should actually look. So the way that he implemented it, hold on. Implementation. You should read the honestly, bro, you should just read the
I mean,
implementation
yeah,
for
it
it.
makes
It's
sense.
like
It's like
not
a
that.
sorted. Yeah, it's just a list that
Yeah.
maintains its sort at all times. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, yeah. It like I don't know how. Bro, why can't I find it? Whatever.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah, just
I've
like you
seen
can
this so many times, but I just never used it because I was like, I didn't know if it was allowed, but it makes sense.
yeah, no, it's allowed. Yeah, this is it. Just like
Yeah. Appreciate you, bro.
if you want to read. Yeah, but it's really the way they do it in Python, it's like sorted list. Yeah, it's approximately log n time because they don't really use a self-balancing binary search tree. What they do is like if you have like a really long like array, right, of sorted elements, right? What they do is if it gets too long, then they just make these like smaller arrays, right? And then they can maintain like the minimum and the maximum of these like smaller arrays, and you can use that to like traverse the tree. It's like an implicit balanced search tree, if that makes sense.
I see.
But yeah, if you're interested, you can read the
Yeah,
implementation.
I'm gonna
I don't think
store
it's
this.
like that
I'm writing
important.
this in my notes. I need to learn and build like sparse table because
Yeah.
I'm gonna
All
use
right.
whatever it
Yeah.
takes. Sparse table,
Hmm.
bisect, and then sorted list. You have any
Yeah.
other ones I need to look into?
Uh, I think those are fine. And like, yeah, honestly, I think for the segment tree and sparse table, just black box them. You don't need to know how to use that. Like you don't really need to know how the implementation works for contests. At least not LeetCode
Wait,
level contests.
for segment tree, you can't there's a inbuilt?
No, there's no inbuilt.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
have to have some templates ready.
Are you
You can just
allowed to
ask
just use it?
ChatGPT first.
Use templates like in actual competitions?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. At least for Codeforces, you definitely can. So I'm assuming the same rules apply for LeetCode. And I've seen like other people, like I think, yeah, I've seen like other people also just like use templates as
Oh
well.
my
I don't
God. I
think it's a
mean,
big deal.
oh God, like when I'm doing the contest, I don't even want to look at my binary. I know how to. I had like a binary search template. I was scared to look at it because I didn't know if these guys, it's gonna look bad. But
No, I think you should be good. Like a lot of people use templates. I don't
Okay,
think it's a
okay,
big
okay.
deal.
I need to make my templates then.
Yeah, yeah. Let me think. Yeah, and then you know,
I was
that's
taking it
why
too serious.
yeah, but it's also like, I mean, if you use a template, like you're still solving the problem. I don't think it's like that big of a deal. Like you just save yourself from, I guess, having to write the code,
Yeah,
I
but like
guess.
in the competition, like when I realized that I had to do some complicated thing, I get discouraged to even try it. I'm like, I want to implement this heap.
Yeah.
I don't want to like
Yeah.
from
Actually,
scratch.
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember my latest interview. I did use sorted list, and they're like, "Yeah, can you just use a heap instead?" I was like, "Okay, fine," because I do abuse sorted list a lot. But look, if your goal is like context rating, or sorry, contest rating improvement,
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter. But yeah, for interviews, like some of your interviewers will still like say will be like unfamiliar with it, and then yeah, they'd ask you to use a heap. But yeah, that's fine.
yeah. I mean, I'm rating maxing this year, so I have to. I have to. Is there a
Yeah.
union find? How do you do union find? Do you just have to implement that yourself? I mean, it's pretty easy to implement, but
Union find should be like pretty trivial to implement, I think.
okay.
Like even if path compression is just one line, and then if you
Yeah.
do union by size, that's also like pretty trivial. And then yeah, it's like like if you have those two, it's basically just constant time. It's like technically, I guess, like
I see.
inverse
Okay, what other
increment or
data
whatever,
structures do
but
I need? Because I'm trying to get to night. So I got sparse table, bisect, sorted list. I'm gonna look into those today. What else should I?
yeah, yeah, bro. Like I don't, you don't really like even honestly like sparse table segment tree like you don't need those to get tonight, right? Like my claim is just that like they'll help you. Like in some questions where maybe you don't immediately recognize like the intended approach. Sometimes you can just use like a binary search plus a segment tree plus a sparse table and it will help you out. So like I don't want to make it seem like knowing these is a requirement to like get tonight, if that makes sense.
Okay, what do you think are like the common patterns? Like binary search, prefix sum.
Yeah, binary search prefix sum is always like a pretty common pattern. Like at least what I've noticed is questions that can be solved like via two pointers can usually be solved with binary search plus like some sort of prefix sum. So that's like one thing to, I guess, maybe keep in the back of your head.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try to solve these. This is good stuff though. Holy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got cooked by
I
that
hope I was like
contest.
I hope
No,
I
that
was
100% makes sense. I think I have an idea for how to solve it now. Like, I mean, you already showed me, but I'm gonna try it out. All
yeah, I
right.
hope I was like I hope I was of some help.
No, 100%. Next time, yeah, I'm gonna hit you up next time. Are you always on Discord? Like if I get stuck, I'm trying to learn some stuff.
Yeah, all right. No worries then. I'll talk
Okay.
to you later.
Catch you, man. Peace.
Bye.
Upsolve Q4s. Q4 is rough, man. What happened here? Discord 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna be practicing math. I'm gonna go literally practice math right after this. But I think no, we covered a lot of ground today. Honestly, I learned a lot from this weekend from just flopping those contests. I think we're gonna make a breakthrough. So I think I need to focus a little bit more on like yeah, those sparse tables. To get Guardian, I don't know. It's probably all about speed. Dude, Guardian is like top 2000, top 2.5%. Yeah, let's talk about it. We can talk about it right now. But let's just hop on voice because my Wi-Fi tweaked out last time. Try to do contests. I think I'm done actually doing these. I've been doing questions for like 6, 7, 8 hours, like hard ass questions. Okay, you prefer off stream, yeah. Yeah, I can hit you up right after this. See. But I'm gonna yeah, I have this math thing. I'm gonna be learning some of the math stuff. The thing is, how okay. What's 9,000? What is 9,000? 16. Like the thing is, usually I would have to draw these out. So 9,900, 9,991, 9,009. Then go. What is this? 16. See, I need to like line these up properly. Okay. Yeah. I'm learning. I'm gonna, dude. This is my goal is 1,600 by the end of the year, and only Guardian on Codeforces. So I'm already close. Or I don't know about Guardian on Code for if I'll be able to get that, but I think I'll be able to get like at least Knight. So I have all year. So I need to work on my basics. And my last contest was really good. Guardian on LeetCode, yeah. I'm trying to get like 2,000 rating here, and then on this 1,600. But I'm starting a very newbie. So it's a tough climb, but people have done it. So no, I'm not trying to get that on Codeforces. Yeah, yo, I got negative 16 because I posted and people didn't like my post. Yo, I can't talk about that mugshot. I'm not. It's not what I'm proud of. Basically, all I did was the reason why I have negative contribution is because I posted about how I'm gonna try to get to 1,600 in Codeforce rating, and then somebody said that like why am I even trying to get to expert at 700 rating? He's talking trash. That's kind of why. But then this guy's nice. He said good luck. This other guy's like, bro, you're not even an expert. He's like, bro, you're 700, not expert. He's like, get your chat GPT ass out of here because he's saying I chat GPT this blog post. This is funny though. AVN award? Did I not chat GPT it? I honestly I wrote most of it and chat GPT just cleaned it up. So he has a point. That's why. But who doesn't clean up their if I'm gonna post on a blog, I'm gonna use chat GPT to clean up my grammar. I'm a fob. Yeah, bro. At work all the time. I'm just by. Yeah, like obviously I'm gonna. I swear to God that like when I wrote this, yeah, that's the one thing about course or Code Forces Alpha. There's a lot of tryhards, man. That's the thing. They're probably not used to like other people coming in. So if you post, yeah, it's crazy. So he basically just hating because I'm a newbie. But honestly, his rating was only like 1,900. I can't wait. I can't wait to pass this guy, and then I'm gonna comment on his stuff, bro. Yeah, this guy definitely looks unemployed too. Like the guy, maybe he has a high rating, no job. I don't even know. guy's hating on me. Let's look at his account. He's a candidate mass. He's at 1700, which is not bad. Yo, what's up, man? He solved 834 questions, right? I mean, he got to 1900, 1940. Now my goal is just to pass that, and then I'm just gonna comment on this guy's stuff. uh, that would be too funny. Yeah, I don't know. This guy, I don't know. And a lot of the people are like from like random places too. Like, no, we're not. Like, I'm just petty. I'm just petty. Cause yo, why is this guy talking trash? He only got to 1900. How hard is it to get to that? I mean, it's probably hard, but come on now. Yeah, facts. All right, yo, chat. We'll probably stream. Yo, yeah, exactly. He's like, why is this guy talking trash? Let me get Plasmatic on the stream. Like, I know some actual Codeforces grandmasters. It's not even just Plasmatic. Okay, the other dude that was actually supporting me, he's like, good luck on your journey, actually being nice. So basically, this guy downvoted me. That's why I had negative contribution, but this guy upvoted me. Yo, look, this guy has a higher rating than that other guy, and he's being supportive. I like this guy. He's from Turkey. Oh, he's in high school? I have no idea if he's in high school right now, but nah, it's all good. Bro, I don't care if anybody hates on me. I found it was funny. Cause bro, I'm gonna get my rating up. I only did 2 contests and I was a newbie. I'm trying to get it. It's gonna get up there if I just keep grinding it out this year. Yo, just everyone go follow me on Codeforces. So when we do contests, we could just see each other's in the thing. Yeah, yeah, you can follow me. So yo, Alpha, you think people would be down for me to sit in and watch one of your like shadow one of your interviews on live? Like what you run the interview, but I'll just join in and then just shadow. I might be live streaming though. I don't know if they're cool with it. I just want to shadow and see how it goes. It's been a while since I was in that. If you're doing any tomorrow. What's the non part? Okay. Yeah, pretty much as soon as you start going, right? O- Yeah, 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 yeah. As soon as you start going, just send me the link. As soon as you start going, send me the link. And then from there, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'll just join. And I'll just join. And then maybe if he's down, we can run him through like I'll run him through a system design after you're done with him. We could get like two videos in one. Or I'll just sit in the background and just analyze the interview. Cause I think also it would be like I never just shadowed the interview for a while, so I wanna see because when I'm running the interview, I think of different ideas versus when I'm watching it. So I wanna sit in live. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so tomorrow on the stream, Alpha, when is the Google guy coming on? So I know when to start streaming. Okay, yeah, that works. I'll just start streaming at like 2 or 3 or something like that. Just do stuff in the morning. We'll see. If you, I'll message you on Discord and line it up. Like I might not even be on stream. I kind of want to just like be like shadow. I think it would be a funny idea, cause cause a lot of times people need to be able to interview in front of two people too, cause that's what happens. Yeah, shadow the goat. Don't you work? Nah, Monday's a day off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just come in and shadow. But I'll be on mute the whole time so I can like if people are asking stuff in the chat, I can talk. I think it'll be interesting. Then y'all could watch Alpha do a coding interview live. That'd be sick. All right. Yeah, as long as they're cool with it, just let them know. Cause some people they get stressed. But yo, thanks for tuning in. We were able to upsolve some questions. The contest was really good today. We solved a lot of questions on the div. Where's it? We were able to upsolve the last one. No, maybe Alpha. I'll message you. So we were able to solve 5 of the questions. I think we placed really well, but yeah. All right, chat. I'll catch you on the next stream. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go walk around, study some math, and get that rating up. Rating maxing. Yo, appreciate you. Catch y'all in the next stream. Yeah, Alpha, you should charge. You should charge because you actually, well, you should charge like $1 or $2 in case they fail or in case they flop. I can't charge because I'm on a visa. I can't really be like setting up a Stripe like that. But you should actually charge. You should actually also charge to do interviews without if they don't want to be recorded. Because I know a lot of people ask me for that too. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like for not recording. Because I can't really. Yeah, charge. Yeah, you can easily set that up. Even on Calendly, Alpha, you can charge and you could just say, but yeah, yeah. I might charge like, I might charge like $10. But like, how do you give it back though? If they come? Well, I guess you'll just keep it, but then you'll say it just gives them more incentive. Yo, how many interviews are you doing per day? Holy crap. This guy's a machine. Yo, that's what pissed me off too. Yo, Alpha, you could do so many. Suppose you did like 180. So if you do 12 a day, that's 18 days, right? Why don't you just schedule or you probably already do this, but you probably schedule upload. Bro, you could like shoot so many videos that it will schedule upload for the next 5 to 10 years. Oh, not oh 12 in a week. Okay, sorry. But maybe what if you stretch them out longer so you it doesn't cannibalize? I'm just coming up with random ideas on the spot. Like stretch them out like one upload per day, but then have it, yeah, have it like posting for the next like year, 2 years, or 3 years straight. That's like a money glitch right there. Like, just keep at, cause you probably like, how far is your stuff scheduled out? You could schedule it out to take 3 months off and have videos. Yeah, dude, that's what I've done. I've shot so much videos once that I went on vacation. I didn't even like download the app, and then I just looked after, and like shit was blowing up. You have next 35 days full. See, because you're like scheduling it every single day. What if you did it like every 2 days? Because your videos are blowing up now, and need some of them take like 2 days before it starts hitting the algo properly. Like you don't want to cannibalize your last video too. But I don't think that's really a problem with your case right now. Because you've been consistent for a long time too. You made chapters now and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I I don't do reels, but maybe Alpha does. Nah, yeah, we don't really do that stuff, but if I come up with a bot, or if you come up with a bot, or someone comes up with a bot to do it, I'll use the bot, but like things like Opus Clip are way too expensive. Yeah. Alpha already has too much demand. He doesn't really need to. Like, bro, Alpha, when are you gonna go on vacation? Do you have any vacations planned? Nah, but all I'm gonna like with your stuff blowing up right now, you just gotta ride the momentum until it's done. Like I would never go on a vacation while I have a video popping off like that, like your latest Bloomberg one. I'm not going on vacation until that thing dies down. I'm gonna be posting, and I'd be posting.
Hello?
Would you drop? Who's this
I
guy?
tried.
Oh, the lean hire. Getting hit with the ads. So funny. But Alpha, try out the new Peralta mock assessment. It's very, very simple. But I just wanted to, like, in case you could just keep clicking it multiple times to get different questions. But what I did is I literally uploaded all of my questions solved, like 700 questions. So this one chooses two easies. This one chooses an easy and a medium. This one's like two. And then if you don't like the questions, you just keep clicking. Alpha, what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna add an instructor mode or an instructor role, so you could be an instructor, and then after you could fill in the feedback. It could, or maybe what it could do is you could just put in the feedback there, and it then I'll save the feedback so that they have a link that they can access. But then they could also do like a quick survey on you or something to see if like, so you can get feedback as well. Because that's one thing I wanted to get it for me as well, is I wanted to give them a persistent link. Mock service. Yo, the thing is, Paul, like I can't really monetize this stuff, so I'm just kind of doing this stuff just for fun on the vibe coding side. Like I'm just vibe coding the heck out of this. But essentially, yeah, you put the feedback. So essentially, you're gonna give them a feedback, and then or they're gonna give them a link where they can access their feedback that you said to them during the interview. But then they'll also have to give feedback on you so that you can like figure out how to improve your process as well. That's also one thing I really wanted to do for myself as well. So I could like learn how to do the interviews better over time as well. I can't really monetize. Yeah, just because I'm on a visa, so I don't want like I can't be making money off the side like that. And I don't like the product is not even that good where I'm gonna be charging, you know what I mean? But I just want to like have people try to use it out. Like I'm just trying out different things. You can write your assessment in a document. Yeah, yeah. Like Abhishek, like that's a good idea, but I'm trying to automate that. You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking for Alpha is like when he submits it, because the thing is my website is also server side rendered, so it's good for SEO. I want that feedback to be like SEO friendly, and I want it to link back to Alpha's video later. So it's just like SEO optimizes Alpha's video. So there's gonna be the feedback, and it's gonna be being scraped by Google Web Scrapers, and then it'll just be more ways that they can find Alpha's video after. Yeah, Alpha, if you figure that out, let me know. Let me know if you can if I just haven't had time to try to do that flow that you're talking about. I want to do that too. But all right. Yeah, yo, Alpha, bro, there's so much fun things to do on the like in this space. Yeah, let me know if you could figure it out. There's also like a lot of ELO stuff. There's a lot of these ELO websites. Bro, that's like a rage bait question for me. Like what project should I do? What project do I need to do in order to get Fang on the resume, right? The other day I was getting asked that, and then I was like when I was just by myself, I was thinking about that question. I was like, bro, that's I was getting triggered thinking about that. I don't know why. Cause I think you just need to work on project. Yeah, like I asked her that question too many times. That's also why it's kind of rage bait. And like you should try to work on projects that you want to work on. And you should try to build a product. You should try to build something that people can use. You should try to build a product that solves problems for people around you so that you could actually get users, and then it's way more fun rather than just building random to-do lists and stuff like that. So, yeah, like when you that's an important skill. An important skill of any engineer is looking around to find problems and then solving them. Like if you get a job at Meta, it's the most disorganized company ever. You have to figure out what you need to work on specifically. No one's ever going to tell you what you need to work on, even if you're working at startups. So if you have to, and then suppose even in regular jobs, you need to be able to look at the code base and look for problems and then solve problems. If you're always looking for problems from somebody above you, then you're always going to need a manager and you're never going to move up. So like the what project should I work on is just straight up rage bait at this point. That, that's just my thoughts. Yeah, you should be able to create scope. You should be able to identify problems. You should be able to think of multiple solutions to solve problems. Yeah, like stuff like that, bro. I'm like, that question is just. The thing is, maybe back in the days that would work. Maybe back in the days you could make a YouTube clone and get hired at a fan company. But right now, with AI, you could just auto generate a YouTube clone. So it's more about building products, solving problems, getting users to use your product. There's so many other things beyond just the initial app that you need to do now in order to get a job. And it's not like the bar is just higher because the bar is pretty much the same, but it's easier to build the website. That's why you need more features. So at the end of the day, back then it would have cost me 10 hours or 30 hours to build that YouTube clone. Now it'll take me 30 minutes to build the app, but it'll take me the other 29 hours to get people to use it. So the bar is still the same. It's still going to take you the same amount of time. Yeah, it's trolling. All right. Yo, I'll catch y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna grind more Codeforces. Peace.
This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and in my chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. LeetCode, beast mode, 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 LeetCode, beast mode. This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and in my chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. LeetCode, beast mode, LeetCode, beast mode,